Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into something really exciting. Banner found himself near the bar, telling the FBI monitoring Philly's 3 witnesses were killed. Just then, Banner's attention was caught by a taxi in the corner, but the back seat looked like a scene out of a mystery movie. With some tech magic, they discovered the driver was a guy named Vincent, and the FBI immediately tagged him as the suspect. But Banner thought there was more to the story. After digging into Mike's background, he saw this guy had been a taxi driver for 12 years without a blemish, but the FBI held their ground, convinced that local cops couldn't possibly help them, and half an hour later, all kinds of characters arrived at the nightclub where the 4th witness was, and Vincent quickly spotted his next target in the crowd. He ordered Mike to slowly move toward the target, or else he'd start shooting randomly, leaving Mike with no choice but to comply. Just as expected, the bodyguards hiding in the shadows revealed themselves, and Vincent quietly went around to take them out one by one. At that moment, the FBI caught wind of Mike's movements, causing the witness bodyguards to go on high alert. Meanwhile, another FBI team entered through the back door to swiftly move the witness, but guards took them for enemies. The place erupted into chaos, and Phillies, who thought victory was in the bag, began to lose hope. At the critical moment, Vincent pulled out his switchblade and went to town on the bodyguards with some swift stabs, taking them down in no time. He rolled over to grab the gun on the floor, then started shooting like a madman, making the remaining bodyguards bite the dust in seconds. He quickly closed in on his tipsy target and, within a few shots, finished his job like it was a walk in the park. Just as Banner found Mike in the chaos, and they were headed out of the bar, Vincent popped up out of nowhere, firing 2 shots and taking Banner down. He forcibly shoved Mike into the car, making him drive to the final hit spot, Mike already in despair. Mike asked Vincent why he killed the cop, but Vincent's reply remained unchanged. He told Mike it was just duty. The cop he killed was like a dust speck in the universe. Vincent's coldness pushed Mike to the edge. Mike asked why Vincent wouldn't just kill him outright, and Vincent told him to take a good look in the mirror first. He pointed out that Mike had always been dreaming of establishing his ideal taxi company, yet after the passage of 12 years, he remained merely a taxi driver. Vincent's words cut Mike deeply. Just like he said earlier, he never took a step toward his dreams, but now he resolved to give it a shot. Suddenly, Mike slammed the gas, running through multiple red lights and speeding down a deserted side street, causing Vincent to draw his gun and yell for him to slow down. But it was too late. Mike suddenly jerked the wheel, sending the taxi spinning out of control. Luckily, Vincent was only slightly hurt. However, the jolt made Vincent lose his gun, and right on cue, sirens blared in the distance. Vincent had to jump out of the car quickly and escape the crash scene before the cops arrived, but Mike wasn't so lucky. They found the body hidden in his trunk. As a suspect, he was quickly recontrolled by the police, but just then, Mike stumbled upon Vincent's computer with the target info. It turned out that Annie was the last target on the list, and she was Mike's last passenger before Vincent got to him. He had provided Annie with a quicker route, winning their little wager in the process. Thus, his charming banter won her over, so he couldn't let the same tragedy happen to her. Just as the cops were about to completely close in on her, Mike pulled off her shoulder throw to snatch the cop's gun, locked the door, and sped toward Anna's drop-off point. He casually grabbed a passerby's phone and dialed Anna's number using her business card. Mike alerted Annie about a hitman named Vincent out for her and urged her to leave quickly. But Annie thought Mike was pulling her leg until he mentioned Philly's name. Then the danger sank in. Vincent kicked open the door to Anna's office, only to discover that it was completely empty. Annie had stayed late upstairs in the archive room preparing for the next day's trial against drug lord Phillies. Meanwhile, Mike saw Vincent at Anna's office, about to tell her to flee, but his phone died. Oh no! At that moment, Vincent found the upstairs phone ringing. Only Annie was working there. She dashed to the power room and threw an axe to cut off the building's power. Then she silently neared Annie in the dark files room, about to pull the trigger when Mike quickly sensed it, shot Vincent first, and then grabbed Annie to flee swiftly. But then Vincent just shot, surprisingly raised his head. It was only a graze, enraging him. Soon she found the trail in the building's subway station, and although they quietly climbed onto the train just before it started, Vincent jumped onto the tracks, climbed up the train's rear, and checked each compartment. Once the subway got going, the two hiding in the carriage found themselves with nowhere to run. As Vincent was getting closer and closer, desperate Mike made a decisive move and stepped into the aisle to face off against him. They fired, both ran out of ammo, as Vincent was to reload. He realized he had just been shot and slowly sat down as if nothing happened.